Hello, welcome back. I have a few updates since that last base tour of mine, mainly around the control room and switching yard, a little bit around the automations, which aren't updated yet, but there is change, and also around the crude oil processing, which I'll cover now. So, first things first, I was originally burning off, so the kerosene, there we are, that we turn into sulfurized diesel, gasoline additives, and naphtha. I was originally just burning off the gasoline additives and sending the naphtha and sulfurized diesel back to the original storage tanks. So when the crude oil is cracked, it comes into all these five, and that's where I was just putting everything. However, the naphtha's backing up, so I've decided, because you can use the naphtha along with the gasoline additives to make gasoline. So I've just set up some tanks here, one for the gasoline additives, one for the naphtha, and I've rerouted the outputs of these two distillation towers so that they only go into these, and they've got the same deal here where they'll stop outputting once the signal reaches 1, which means that they'll never empty, so the fluids will automatically route to the correct tank. And then the output also goes along there, along here, and into these HPUs. I would prefer to put it in there, but I couldn't really figure out a way to get the pipe to fit. I have to move this water pipe, which I'm not really sure I can be bothered to do. The other option, I guess, is I could have it come along here and not dry. Actually, I'm just going to move this right now because I think that is a better idea. I've just realised. Let's just drop that bit of dirt back in here. I can actually have it come along here. Like this. Up into that as an input. There we are. Then the excess sulfurized diesel will go into there, and because these are all backed up anyway. I probably need another HPU. Well, I don't think I need another HPU to make diesel. I think I just need to make generators to start burning the diesel off. But there we are. So that means now that the naphtha, instead of going back into the system and just blocking that tank up, it'll now actually go somewhere, which is, if I get through here, into this refinery. Which I'm got to be careful right-clicking them with the mining drill because it puts the biodiesel into the refinery. There we go. It'll go into here and it'll make gasoline. The gasoline will go into here. It's currently empty. When that is full, it'll output through here. This will just tell it to output itself, and its only output is that flare stack. So that's that. That will be a way to get rid of my excess naphtha, essentially, whilst still making something and processing everything. If we come over here, right, so change has been afoot. I noticed I did loads of testing. It was weird because I did like a test board where I just made like a simple setup of, like, you know, creative accumulator, breaker, blah blah blah, you know, merging them into basically a simplified version of this, and then having the output into an arc furnace. And it was like, it all worked. It output all the power it should have. And then I moved things around to test it. It's okay, yeah, that works. Moved it back to how it worked before, and then it just didn't work. I thought, that's very strange. So I thought I'll try just rewiring all of this to see if I can, because I'm a tinkerer. This is why I didn't get on with that controlled engineering control panel stuff, because it was like, I couldn't really figure out how to, I fill that up. I need to like tinker with things. I can't just do it all in one go. So I thought I'll just try rebuilding the control room and the wiring to see if I can figure it out. So first things you may have noticed, I've changed these ones so that they're different, to show the sector usage. If the sector's switched off, it shows us full because that puts a signal onto that, but that's fine. I can live with that. I can see that it's off, so that's all good. What I noticed was that when I was just assigning generators, it seemed like one of the wires, i.e. the wire from the generator to the capacitor, was burning out. I'm not really sure why, because it wasn't putting out more than 32,000, but that seems to be what happened. So as well as rewiring it, and the rewiring was worth it as well because I've made it look nicer, it means as well, when I switch a sector on, basically I've just made sure I assign the generators first and then switch it on, and I made sure that I do the biodiesel first, because that should be like just to make sure that there's enough power, because this stuff can power 2 generators, that stuff can power 6. So I just make sure that that's always on first, and then open the sector, and then assign generators for the arc furnace, then open the sector. That sort of thing. So yeah, that's sorted. the rewiring. So basically, every time I needed to check something in the wiring, I'd have to go into creative mode and fly into the nest of the wires. So I thought, let's actually make it so that let's put them all on the ceiling so that I can actually walk through them all and see what's going on. So I made a ceiling, and I did that. And whilst I'm doing that, rather than having 2 rows of like accumulated wires, just have them all go into one central row of wires. Because I had a feeling that might have been doing funny things with the power distribution. So I wasn't 100% sure, but I did it anyway. So please enter the hall of wires. Isn't this glorious? So yeah. Oh, the other thing as well, because that wire was burning up, what I did was I replaced the feed-through insulators with HV accumulators. That means that there's a connector on the input and the output that limits the flow to 4096, which is the max output of the generator. So like that's another way of controlling it. I don't know if it's made a difference, but I think it helps. So, but it basically works the same as before. It splits into the 4 breakers, 1 for each sector. You can see here, and I've put these signs everywhere, so it's a bit easier for me to tell what's going on as well. Signs for which generator it is obviously corresponds to the signs across here. And yeah, so each sector then goes into column for 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's not 0, 1, 2, and 3 anymore. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I put biodiesel as sector 1 as well because that's the one that I should switch on first, basically. And so yeah, sector 1 goes into this column, sector 2 goes into that column, 3 into that column, 4 into that column, etc. And it all comes along here to the breakers for each sector. So as you can see, only 1 and 2 are on at the moment. And then into the current transformer for the monitor, and then it just splits into, because I had like 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, and then 1 had to go over there, and 2 had to go over there, and 3 had to go over there, so they had to cross each other. I've done it this way, so now 3 and 4 go this way. 4 obviously isn't connected yet, so I'm not running the excavators, but 3 just goes straight along there to the oil processing, easy peasy. And then 1 and 2 come this way, because that's the direction they need to go. So I think that is lovely, don't you? Look at it, absolutely beautiful. Get that for a little thumbnail image. There we are. Take a wee screenshot. Okay. Yes, look, a change has taken place. So this is still in progress. I've installed pretty pipes. I haven't got to use any of them yet. Basically, I've just got rid of all of these, right? And all of them there. We're gonna get rid of that wire too, but we'll deal with that in a second. This conveyor, by the way, was from the excavators. I never covered that in the last video, but just in case that wasn't obvious. So yeah, I've basically said decided I'm just gonna have the liquids over here. So we'll have a water tank there coming from that stuff. I'm gonna have a mixer, 2 mixers, one for liquid concrete, not that I ever use it, and another one for redstone acid, because I want to have an assembler to make capacitors with as well. So I'm gonna have the 2 mixers here, and they'll feed into these 2 tanks. And I'll put some probes on the bottom. In fact, I'm just going to stick them on there now, because otherwise I think I'll forget. We'll just say, that's redstone acid, so I'm going to make it red. And that's liquid concrete, so I'm going to make it light grey. There we are. That'll just mean that there's always some in there, basically. And yeah, so the mixers will feed into them, and then they'll feed into the assemblers. So I'm not 100% sure how I want to do the assemblers and the presses. I kind of just want, like, I'm thinking like a row of assemblers, a row of presses, and then we'll put the pretty pipes between them. But I think it's going to take a lot of moving things around before I'm happy with where I want them to be, essentially. This is just everything I dug up. I've just put in these boxes here. So yeah, changes afoot. The best thing, though, the most important thing, I should say, is the fact that I've sorted this wiring out. It just seems to be a case of limiting the flow with these capacitors instead of feed-through insulators. Yeah, having all the power put together straight away, and then yeah, assigning generators first, and then opening up the sector and making sure the biodiesel is open first, so everything is going to be powered. That seems to have resolved it. So that's it. Some things I want to do. I've made some notes of these. Potentially turn some of this bitumen into asphalt instead of pet coke. Might be a way to do it, just because I can walk around quicker if I pave everything with asphalt, basically. So I might actually just switch the pet coke production off for the moment. And I know, because the asphalt, the bitumen goes into there, doesn't it? Oh, I don't fucking know. Yeah, immersive petroleum asphalt lets you walk 20% quicker, which might actually be quite handy. I want to maybe like replace some of these scaffolding with catwalks from Engineers Decor, just because they look nicer. You can use stairs and ladders and shit instead of this. Just looks a bit. These are good for like the frame. Maybe I'll like keep scaffolding for like the corners and obviously the bits where I've put connectors. Yeah, I think the scaffolding will look nicer. The catwalks rather. Lights and switching yard I've done. Signage. Yeah, it's all the high voltage signs everywhere. I love that sign. Signs by check just show the max usage. So I've done that too. See that here, just so I know. Obviously I've only got 2 on there at the moment because I'm only running 1 arc furnace, but I will need 4 if I'm running everything. Then what else? I wanted to put chimneys on the generators, but honestly the advanced chimneys mod is so pernickety about combining the smoke from several different ones. It just got too much of a pain. Because what I'd really love is to have a big chimney coming out the back of this. I will have another look at it at some point. I want a big chimney coming out the back of this with all the smoke from the generators. I think would be really cool. I want to do the steel factories I mentioned before. I want to put fences up with razor wire because why not? So yeah, all good. Thanks for watching. If I have an update in the future, I will see you then. Bye.